Everybody hates black men. I am your host, Edward Anderson. So I want to do a disclaimer. This video is probably going to go to Patreon probably within a few hours after I do it. So make sure you all check out my Patreon. It will be free to see. Although I am going to start adding content into the Patreon a lot more. And as I do that, eventually I will start charging people for that. But but understand, I want y'all to get this heat. This is also going to be a video that I am preemptively saying I'm not going to apologize for what I'm going to say. I mean what the fuck I say. Because I'm not even trying to monetize this. I mean what the fuck I say. People have every right to disagree. This is my opinion. This is what the fuck it is. And fuck that bougie bullshit. Because we're really in we're way past what you gonna do about it territory. And when I say what you gonna do about it, I'm talking about myself as well. I'm not, I'm talking about myself. I also want to say this. I am the one that brought intercultural dating into this space. As far as popularize it into this space. Intercultural dating, for those of you all that don't know, is basically dating other cultures of the same race. So I am, without going, overseas. This is a domestic situation, right? And so I shout out to JD Aesthetic with the $5. And so it almost enraged. I almost want to say because I don't like having a preemptive something by saying F, I am not anti-immigrant. Let me be very clear with you. Anybody that wants to insinuate, if you even think that I'm anti-immigrant based on what I'm saying, fuck you and die. That's how, so just understand that. Fuck you and die. Just straight like that. I just want you to understand that. So anybody that you think I'm anti-immigrant or you feel like that, just fuck you and find the nearest brig and go ahead face first. I just want you to understand it. So there's no illusion. So if you keep listening, then whatever. Because fuck your feelings. And I mean this to anybody it hits. Fuck your feelings. I don't give a fuck. Straight like that. Straight like that. I got plenty of folks that are Nigerian, Haitian. Shout out to John Baptiste Point de Sable. He was the founder of Chicago, half white, half Haitian, black. So, and I've been in this fucking space long enough that y'all know good goddamn well that I'm not anti-immigrant. Nobody's insinuated that. I just want, for anybody that may not know me or maybe in this channel, come across this channel or come across this video and you all feel a certain type of way, just understand, go ahead, lean into that feeling, fuck you and die. I just want you to understand that, because that's how much of a fuck I do not give about how you feel. Nobody's asking you fuckers to watch the video. All you gotta do is swipe left or leave. Straight like that. Also, anybody talking stupid, if you don't know who they are, time them out. I don't give a fuck if they say hi. If they time them out. Time them out. This is unless you know them, anybody that's cool up in this bitch generally has a moderator tag, and if they don't, y'all recognize their name. If you recognize them, fine. If you don't, time them the fuck out. Because I'm not in that mood. Also, shout out to Red Supreme. Red Supreme has a live going on right now. It's a great live. It says Tariq Nasheed, but he's actually covering some other stuff. I appreciate him, covering this topic. I actually think topics like this are good for him. Shout out to Cut to the Chase, who definitely, graduated from our space and built up the space. And I think, this is definitely not just this content, but just him and the more hip hop kind of stuff. I like that stuff for him. Obviously, he does what he wants. I'm not trying to tell nobody what to do, but appreciate that. Make sure y'all show him some love and make sure y'all like his video, because he is covering this stuff and, he's keeping it real. He's keeping it real. So understand. Also, I'm gonna tell a story. One of my first girlfriends, she is married now. She is from Canada. French Canadian. When I first met her, she couldn't speak a lick of English. All she could speak was French. Now you would never know she had an accent. And she learned it very quickly. She could speak French, Spanish, and English. Very smart, very, with a white dude, engineer, happy for her. She dated black, whatever, and parents are very lovely people. Had a sister, younger sister, didn't like me very much, but she liked black dudes. Didn't like, whatever. And so, I've always been interested in different cultures. I always like the best of people. Even with white people, I want to know what you are. Not I'm white. No. So, ethnic groups and tribes and stuff like that, I'm definitely cool with. And to be honest, this is not really about the illegals. I refuse to use the term migrant. Fuck that. The illegals. And the pseudo illegals, because they're only legal because you got executive orders that are making it legal. The illegals. And as I don't need to say, as somebody that's the descendants of slave, I have black and Irish descendancy, and I'm black, but just so folks act like I don't know, I do. And knowing where my family comes from, what my family's had to do, and stuff like that, and knowing, the reality is, the anger really needs to be directed at the government. And if illegals catch strays, then so be it. Because they're pawns, it is what it is. But I'm not about to let, my bleeding heart or humanitarianism or any of that shit get in the way from what the fuck we're owed. These are people that have told us to our face we can't have reparations. I'm talking about the government. These are people that have, let's say what you want to. These are people that have closed schools that if you all have kids, your kids have gone to. They have not put the money into these schools. They have not done what they need to do. They have not done right by black folks. And then for them to be it ain't even just Haitians, obviously, because they're not the only ones. But for them to bring all these people, we'll go as far as Ukrainians over here, just bringing people in here, just setting them up and giving them all this other shit. I don't want to hear it. And I'm going to get into some other details, but I'm going to be very clear here. I understand demographics more than people think. I don't care. I just want to be very clear about that. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. When people say, oh man, they're going to have to start cutting Social Security, they're going to cut it no matter what they do. There is no scenario where Social Security is not going to eventually get cut. Thank God my mom took it early, because she would have never saw it. My aunt just turned 66 in September the 8th. Y'all saw that stream I did last week when I said I was going to see her. I have personally helped to take care of my, my mom until the day she died, on top of all the other stuff I'm doing. And I still am help to caretake my aunt. I am fucking qualified to have a fucking opinion on this shit. Because this is not just some shit that I'm just, it's away from me and I'm just not burdened by it. I'm a lot more closer to something like this than I am kids, because I don't have any. So my thing is, the reality is, the question is, should other generations have to pay their entire lives for other folks to have a great fucking 10 more years left? And it's indicative, the mentality is indicative of fucking politicians that are way too old to be in fucking office. And ultimately, this is our fault. Because ultimately, it's not about well, we need to talk about this, talk about that. They just need to get pushed the fuck out. One way, either the easy way or the hard way. The easy way is voting them the fuck out. And every time that doesn't happen, that is our responsibility as millennials, as Xers, and that is our fault. Point blank period. And this is not a generational conversation. I'm gonna talk about a couple of different things here. So saying that we have to bring over X amount of people so some motherfuckers can have a couple of years and not have their Social Security cut is bullshit. And when I say bullshit, I understand the logic behind it and the need behind it. That's not good enough reason to me. It's just not. And then if the argument is, well, what are you gonna do? Are you gonna take care of them? I helped to take care of my aunt for 10 fucking years. You know, I have to deal with the burden of thinking about, you know, doing right by my aunt for my mother's sake, because she spent the last 10 years of her life. I'm not the only one obviously doing stuff like this, so I'm not trying to act like I'm special, but stand that if it's that important, fucking tax the rich. You see, they're not shoving these fuckers in people's neighborhoods that, you know, that's connected in any kind of way. These motherfuckers are not going to the lily white suburbs. They're going to the lower grade white areas, because they wouldn't have it. This is not something where everybody's sharing the burden of this shit. This is being focused. And so my thing is, you know, remember, rich folks are not paying as much taxes as they really, quite frankly, should be. I'm a capitalist. I'm not for just taxing upon taxing upon taxing. But the reality of the situation is, you know, and yeah, we got to have a conversation about the Trump tax cuts. For real. I'm not elusive to that. But Trump ain't bring these fuckers in here though either. And I'd much rather have the tax cuts than fucking have this. And so the thing about it is, you know, you have folks that are completely disconnected. I'm talking about, like, I ain't talking about people that's commenting on it I'm talking to, but I'm talking about people that's disconnected, you know, as far as the people that make these decisions. And this is why it's so easy for them to lie. Just lie about it. And that's the thing, because they know that people would say, look, I'm going to tell you the truth. If you say, well, Social Security is going to be gone, we're going to have to start cutting it if we don't solve the problem, they're going to tell you, you know what? You can pull some money out of that fucking military industrial complex. You can pull some money out of these rich people. You got money somewhere. It's just y'all want to do what the fuck y'all want to do. And then say, okay, these options are what these, no, fuck that. You can pull some money out of the fucking military. You can pull some money out of these bases. You can fucking make these Europeans fucking pay more money they should have been fucking paying the whole time. There's money some fucking where. You can go get it. Fuck that. It is not the only fucking choice. You can let some of these fucking prisoners out of jail that we gotta pay free squares and free health care to. Because we got way more people locked up than even China per percentage, even though we're fucking 3 times less of a population. There's money some fucking where. And so this, well, we're gonna, well, you know, all these people, because truth be told, the boomers, other than millennials, the Xers are a small generation. So if we just get past the boomers, for the most part, we're pretty solid when it comes to the fucking Social Security. Yeah, it's gonna be gone, but the issue is, I remember when I was young, I accidentally swallowed like a peppermint, I almost died. Because you know how stuff is slippery in your mouth, and you messing around with it in your mouth, and then it just gets down your throat, and I could not swallow it. and nobody was around me. And luckily I had enough air to where I had time to where it kind of melted just enough to where I could deal with it. But I almost died. Like, real talk, nobody knows about that. And that's really what it is. These boomers are a fucking peppermint in the throat. And the reality is, the boomers have been catered to more than any fucking generation as a group to come through this fucking country. And they will be catered to after they're dead by literally the alphas will be paying for the shit that they, and it's not just the government. Even the way you look at economics and everything, it's all been focused. And this is not me trying to blame somebody. This is a fucking fact. This is not me like, oh, it's all their fault. And so my thing is, it's this, well, because I benefit, and it could be you. It's going to be us. Social Security will not exist when we have to tap it. Millennials have made peace with that. So it ain't no, like, motherfuckers are done. You will be in third world conditions if your economics are not on point. Millennials have made peace with that shit. If you don't have it together. That's why a lot of people be low-key crashing out now. Particularly Z's. So it's going to be us. And black men in particular are already the most homeless. You got black men homeless, vets homeless, but for you to, it's one thing to bring folks in here, but for you to give all this money and do all this shit for all of these groups, and then lie about it, and then act like you, and then people want to argue who the fuck you supposed to vote for. You know who they are, knowing reality, and ultimately, this is what you're gonna do about it, time. The problem is that it's not a problem until it bites you in the ass. That's when it's a problem. The migrant situation, I see it, but it ain't a problem for me. It's not my problem. I'm not being pushed, like, it's not affecting me because of where I'm positioned, at least yet, because of where I'm positioned. So I'm not doing it all because I'm mad because blah, 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 blah. Raleigh in North Carolina has been very good about managing kind of this situation. Them Hispanics over here, they fucking work. They not just getting shit. They have their own enclaves. They have their own, you used to see me drive by it a lot. They have their own clubs with Spanish speaking and all of that. But those are economic engines that basically serve the greater city. Black folks need to kind of get it together. While we still, for here. Indians, same thing. You can go in the whole zones, where everywhere it has any McDonald's, from McDonald's to banks everywhere. So I'm not saying it just doesn't exist. And they're all attracted with Research Triangle Park, all that. But the thing about it is, so it's not that, so it's not like this is affect me, so I'm mad. That's not really why I'm mad. I'm mad because we have been hearing what the fuck can't be done for us. I'm talking about black men in particular, but really black people in general. And then you just do all this stuff behind the scenes. And then the best somebody got is demo fucking graphics. And look, if that's the reason, that's the reason. But I wish the fucking a politician would tell me that bullshit. Okay, it's one thing to hear from an analyst, but if a politician was telling me, we gotta do it for the demographics, I'm like, if that shit has been an issue for 5 years, that shit has been an issue for like 20 or 15 years. Fuck y'all, what the fuck is going on? They always got something going on in this area. Shout out to them. And so my thing is, somebody gonna have to come up better than that. And even if that is an issue, then all this money, you ain't gotta give them all this money and doing all this. Y'all closed these schools, did all of this, what? And so now I'm starting to think y'all did this 10 years ago, because this is always what folks were gonna do. I'm starting to believe when y'all was closing schools, y'all was doing stuff, busting stuff up, this was just a setup. That's what I'm starting to think. This was the long-term plan. And so ultimately, man, you know, my frustration, so, and then I want to address something. I said on Art Newstall's panel, I was asked a question. It was a manipulative as hell question, by the way. But I was asked a question because I said before they asked me the question, I said, you know, with COVID, they should have just let COVID burn through the population. I am not the only one that has said this too, by the way. There are people that have said this versus, you know, us spend all this money, shut the economy down. We should have dealt with it a different way. So it's not like news, right? And I'm looked at as a monster, as I'm not moral, as all this other bullshit. You know, because oh my God, you said 30 million. That's the numbers y'all fucking said. I didn't say to not manage it at all. What I said was all of this shut down of the fucking economy and certain shit like that shouldn't have happened. They should have been a lot more free flow with it than what they was. Because truth be told, if something happens again, there's not gonna be a fucking let's shut down the fucking economy. That's gonna be what fucking happens. And these fucking vaccines, you know, I didn't take the vaccine. I knew what the fuck I was doing. My mom didn't take it. And COVID was not what got my mom. My aunt ended up getting COVID, and my aunt weathered it fairly well. Now, obviously, she probably caught an easier strain, and obviously, I'm thankful for that. And they didn't give a fuck when they sent my aunt back to my mom's house, and I had to literally get all this medical shit and extra shit and cover up to try to protect my mom from catching COVID because they sent her there and didn't tell me. They made a practical decision there because they were done. And if my mom would have got COVID and died from it, so be it. That's a decision the government made. That's a decision that medical hospital made that we entrust. My aunt got COVID in that bitch, in that fucking facility. And they made that decision. So when I say shit like that, I'm not saying, oh, well, you know, if it's not going to be up my ass, then I don't care. No, I've had to literally deal with situations like that. And so this ain't just some fucking thing I'm just saying just to be fucking saying it. How many years are you willing to pay? 100? In the country? And then we talk about life. And then fucking when it's Palestinians or somebody else, all of a sudden that don't fucking matter. Now that life doesn't matter because it's their people. It's not their people. That's some goalpost moving if it ever was some goalpost moving. If you believe in the Judeo-Christian belief of life, all life is sacred. And if all life ain't sacred, fuck the other bullshit. The reality of the fucking situation is they should have never been fucking with that shit in the first place. And the reality is the cost of that, what that did to accelerate everything might be a price we all gotta pay. But you get to live for another fucking couple of years. And Black Guru said something as far as that was attacking black men. That was to the extent that I'm gonna entertain that conversation. That was the reason why black men, if to even entertain that, would have been harmed more than other groups because black men aren't fucking healthy. And I'm not perfect with my own health. That's why our that's a big reason, not the only, but a big reason why our life expectancy is lower. Because we're not fucking healthy. And so COVID exasperated that. That is what it is. It wasn't just targeting black men. Black men got diabetes that runs in my family and got a whole bunch of bullshit going on. Because outside of some pussy, if you can't get no pussy, now this is not everybody, but if you can't get no pussy, then it ain't no point in being healthy. Which, by the way, black women is like, you can't get non-black dick, it ain't no point in not looking like a fucking ogre. Nah, the sky is fine. I actually just got it pointed like that. Can y'all hear me? Can y'all hear me now? Press 1 if you can hear me. All right. So like I was saying before, I made a statement about arts. About 30, like, not even 30 million. That's the number they fucking gave. I made a statement on arts. You know, when it comes to this bullshit. Oh yeah, that's where I cut it off. Okay, I cut it off when that motherfucker was talking. All right. So y'all haven't answered me, cut off the whole time. So my thing is, you know, where it said, you know, burn through the population. And obviously that can be managed, but everybody wants to make a moral argument about stuff rather than understanding my greater point. My greater point was that there's always another option. This idea that it's only one thing that can be done, the way that they're going about this is horrible. And I mean this. I want to see motherfuckers in chains. I want to see motherfuckers getting locked up over this shit. I'm dead ass. I'm dead ass serious. Like, this argument that, I mean, how many people? And so it's this argument, like people are not gonna have to deal with the aftermath of what is going on. And that's really the problem I have with a lot of this stuff. I'm trying to kind of track my place, but ultimately, they are literally, when I say engineering, what they're doing is they're breaking the country. That's what they're doing. All this bullshit of what has to be done. You have to bring in 30, 40, 50 million motherfuckers in here that will reproduce and will in 20 years, like, for real. That's what you're doing. As if you're gonna make it that long. And so it's this argument of, you know, folks are anti-immigrant, and I'll just a little bit of Tariq Nasheed too. And you got like Haitians, and shout out to Mr. Z and folks like that, but it's hold your own nuts time. The reality is that's white people that's putting y'all, black people aren't really putting y'all out there like that. That's white folks that's putting y'all out there. So then you got motherfuckers trying to argue with black people because black people aren't getting out the cave. This is where stuff like the gender war becomes so fucking maddening, because black women got way more to lose than black men do when it comes to this shit. Yeah, black women are on some I don't want to be that type bullshit. So it's like the crash out is real, man. And so that's what it is. You're literally washing out the vote. You're washing out the vote, and then you're gonna try to make these people citizens. Because the funny thing is, you try to make them citizens, assuming they're gonna keep voting Democrat for resources. This is why I said, and you know, Dead Set was like, it ain't treason. The hell it ain't treason. I promise you, if Obama did some shit like this, they would call it treason. You are literally fucking terraforming the country. And I don't care what they say. They can say demographics is a reason, but that can't be solved with that. So you're bringing them in now. So when does it stop? Well, you got to have babies. Well, they got to tell the truth about that. See, they don't want to tell the truth about that, because I promise you, when you bring in a critical mass of people in here, and because it's gonna start affecting the women one way or the other, and they start crashing out, you gonna have to do something drastic. And all of this lying that people are doing, pretending stuff ain't happening, pretending, you know, saying it's not playing the it's not true game. This is not true. Folks are not racist. This is not what's going on. This is what's not happening. All you doing is creating a reality where people are gonna be like, all right, bet. I'm just going, okay, so if it's not true now, don't say it's not true when I handle it. Don't say it's true. Don't be on something in the first 48. And all of a sudden now folks got some investigation skills when folks decide to start taking it in their own hands, handling it. Don't do that. Because remember, it's white people talking this shit too. It ain't just black folks talking this shit now. So you can't just be like, well, you just got to deal with it. So don't all of a sudden, because now you're in a situation where, because the fucking local authorities are lying too, because they want federal money. They're being paid to lie. They're being paid to lie. So folks are trying to say, you know, try to marginalize, oh, this is just some civilians because all this stuff has got to be done. No, it fucking doesn't. There's just certain things they don't want to not do. Because if it had, because here's the thing, if it had to be done, it wouldn't matter who's the president. It would be done anyway. If it had to be done, then Trump, it wouldn't matter if Trump was in there or not, because that's the only solution. That's not the only solution. That's just the solution they're choosing, and they're gonna gaslight you and telling you this has to happen, so you stop saying shit. It's like the propaganda is like, okay, this has to happen. Okay, the shit with the like what's going on, because I fucked some dogs and some cats. Even the just, and this has been going on in Europe. All this stuff that just keeps happening, it all has to happen. Remember, Britain got out of Brexit because of thinking they was gonna stop this shit. Shout out to Lou. Shout out to y'all for the cash out. I'll get to that in a second. And so at the end of the day, my thing is, man, this is let me breathe. The thing is, all this shit that they told us couldn't happen because all these reasons, but they found all this money to do all this shit on some straight up bullshit. That shit makes me that shit makes me violently angry. And I rarely get that mad. And this is going to be this to me, the thing that makes me so annoyed is, I already know it's going to have to be something apocalyptic that happens for the critical mass of people to pay the type of attention that they need to pay. And I hate that's going to have to happen, but that's just going to be what it's going to be. something that they cannot lie about. Something that they cannot. It's constantly affected. It's going. What? Not Exxon Valdez. What was the pipeline explosion on the oil rig? I forgot about it. Did it took them like 5 months to plug that shit in? Y'all put it in the chat. It's gonna have to be something at that level. And once something like that happens, you can't fix it. That's literally what's going to happen. The fact that we've gone through an election cycle, that the dollar has not been talked about, even though we're going, like, this has convinced me that people are fucking stupid. Deep Horizon. Something that you can't lie about because you can't say it's not happening. Because these people have made a decision that they are going to lie their motherfucking ass off. And it's the type of thing that I almost don't even like to talk about this type of stuff, because it's like I need to get my stuff on point to where, like, real talk, if I need to opt out and leave the United States, I need to be ready to do so and ready to yank my brothers out of this bitch. Like, it's that serious. And I'm not saying permanently, but to weather some shit for real. Because god damn it, this shit is insane. And just the amount of how much people are willing to gaslight you and lie. And it's kind of like, we can't do this because this will happen and this happened. Well, something's going to happen. This is I almost was going to title this is triage time. Something is going to have to pop. You're going to have to pick what it is. And because this thing where folks are putting this on the American people, buying up housing, renting it to immigrants, they're not doing, like, something's going to crash out eventually. It is. And they're just going to lie and act like it didn't happen. And then you got these people that's coming in here and they're just waving their dick around. Man. And for and then even with this gender war bullshit, for black women got so many problems other than this bullshit with black men. It's really amazing to me how they just keep on trying to make black men the issue. They really be trying to, say, well, black men. I'm like, y'all got so much more problems than black men. It's just amazing how but this is a part of the mental illness. It really is. And so a lot of this, I don't even like to talk about. This is why, when I frame stuff the way I frame it, like when I'm talking about my business stuff, because I'm like, yo, at the end of the day, folks are going to do what they going to do. It really, the question is, what are you going to do about it? Are you going to put yourself in position? I feel sorry for, like, the Z's, because the level of how fucked they are, like, they are literally bringing the world to the United States of America. That is literally what they're doing. And by the way, another thing I want to say on the Haitian front is this. This is how you know. When I hear Democrats and other people talk about, oh, you're racist, how dare, if you all don't shut the fuck up and die talking about some fucking, we would have a much bigger Haitian population if y'all have sent these people back during earthquakes, during a whole bunch of other stuff. What is the difference now? You know what I'm saying? So for you all to act like y'all have always shepherded Haitians up if you don't shut the fuck up with that bullshit. Democrats have been the main ones biting sending them back when they let other people here. And that's bullshit. I'm not, but to sit here, oh, that's racist. I believe you said, man, if you don't get the fuck out of here with that bullshit. And ultimately, they gonna do it until folks say enough. Yeah, appreciate, Jordan from North Wales. And so it's just like, when people, like, one thing I don't like is welcome to governments. Man, there's but the rich and cater to certain demographics, and then they want to leave everything. What happens is all this stuff to go blew up. I don't want to stop doing that other shit, because of reasons to deal for a year or two. God forbid they cut the military budget for 2 or 3 years. God forbid that happens. God forbid they lower the military budget while we're actually not supposed to be at war. God forbid they do that to try to clean this other stuff up. See, God forbid that happens. They just don't want to do it. That's all that is. All that is. All this bullshit where you spent all this money and fucking energy basically flipping the society to elevate the women over the men. And now when you need, because women are not efficient. Women are expensive. Women are expensive to maintain, upkeep, their fucking wombs, their fucking, them having kids. And rather than elevating the men, because the men can take more, you all have basically done everything you can to try to elevate keep white men at the top, keep everybody else marginalized, particularly African-American men. And now when you need all of that stuff and that read, you got fentanyl everywhere, but you couldn't, all this stuff is blowing up, and now you trying to tell me what you did, sucker, you gonna pick. And see, the problem is they can't just charge everything off to black people now. Now they got, because you better believe if it was black people and only black people that would have been affected by COVID, oh, they would have let black people die just like that. They would have let it happen. Just like how they let shit run through, just like how in a lot of ways, a big reason why their population, a big reason they fucked up their population is letting our population crash out with crack. So that basically infected their population through the music. So now they don't know what to do now that their women are whores and all that stuff. Everything comes full fucking circle. And this is the story of white folks. They keep on wanting to wash one hand. They want to wipe their ass with shit with one hand and then thinking they're going to wash the other and solve the fucking problem. Shout out to Stefan Moultrie with the $5. Like I said yesterday on Crimson Cure, the Haitians ain't had a problem when they were the favorite immigrant flavor of the. I mean, at the end of the day, Haitians know and what it is like. And let me tell you something. That hold your own nuts bullshit is real. My thing is, if you're on that, well, I'm going to do what's good for me. And I'm going to tell you something. Black people need to start hunting. And when I say hunting, we need to start investigating everybody. We need to know, we need to have our own version of the CI motherfucking A. We need to fucking be able, we need to know who the fuck is doing what, where, how, otherwise. I'm dead ass serious. We need to, see, problem is we like to mind our own business and we like to expose a lot of stuff about us. It's time for us to start fucking digging into these other motherfuckers and knowing who they are, what they are. I'm talking about every fucking group. Like, we need to know how they move, what their ethnic groups are, what they're in, It's time to lace game. But the problem is, hell, we can't even be honest about our own selves. Hell, black men can't even be honest about what your fucking bitches are out here doing, to be honest. Serious. That's why I shout out to Red Supreme. We need to really start investigating how these groups move. Because there's a reason like they like to keep close to the vest. For real, for real. And that includes our own. And probably the people that's in the know probably already has these things in play. And everything don't need to be on social media. This is why you have things like everything don't need to be on Discord either. There's such a thing as an email list for a reason. Because truth be told, they're going to start infiltrating them Discords too. Intelligence gathering. For real. It's time, fuck that. They mining and all. It's time to really know how these motherfuckers get down and be honest with what the real answer, what the results are. Like dead ass. And I'm going to tell you, I got folks that feed me information. Some of them you know, some of them you don't. I have conversations. I have to shout out to Facebook Messenger where they finally got a 1.5, 2.0. I spread it out. It ain't all on Telegram. Some of y'all, I get intel, people on the ground, and I'm talking about from people that got shit and know shit. People that own real estate. Shout out to James, who was talking about what was happening with the dude he know that works in the check cashing thing. That's a manager. It's time, and everything don't need to be on social media all the time. Stuff needs to start being strategically. Remember when Kendra, Crimson Cure, and I'm for Kendra's growth. I am. Because I wasn't saying no to her. I just don't trust that nigga she had behind her. When she doing email lists. I don't know that nigga. End of. And when they came around, it was on Bernard Riley's joint. And they were talking about the email list. I want y'all to really imagine having an email list of like 100,000 people or even 30,000 people that's active, not like social media with. I want you to really understand what you can do on a social media link when you need to blow something up. Shadow network. I'm dead ass. The women do. The women have it. Lipstick Alley and all that other bullshit. This is why I advocate for things like black male media. Shout out to Mojo for the $10. Much appreciated. Shout out for the $1. All dollars matter. It's on Cash App, on views if I do a 10-minute video. And so I've always looked at it in general. And so at the end of the day, man, people wanted to come at me about I'm wrong for saying should have burnt through the population, and they trying to say it's 30 million. I said, look, man, I'm not talking about nobody shouldn't have did jack shit. That's not what I'm saying. Because people died during COVID. So let's stop acting like they didn't sacrifice bodies. It was just a matter of how much. Let's just be very clear. They want to, it's 15 million, 30 million. That would have affected black people more. But then it's okay for other people to be fucked up because they're in other countries. Fuck all that. Like I said, y'all want to manipulate the numbers to make it sound bad. I didn't say that the shit shouldn't have been managed. But my thing is shutting down the economy where clearly we didn't have 2 years to fucking shut shit down the way shit is so urgent now. So clearly we didn't have the fucking time. Motherfuckers are worried about Social Security when the reality is if the dollar fucks up, that won't even matter. That's not the only problem. And see, it's stuff like that I pay attention to when I hear this. Everything is like a final boss fight. I'm like, that's designed to put me in a state of panic. That's a manipulation tactic. So I always have the need to want to break out of that whenever that's tried. Because if it was that bad, then shit would have already blew up. I'm not saying shit, they're not holding certain things back, but the reality of the situation is eventually something they just not gonna be able to hold back, and you already see that stuff cracking. And then on top of that, anyway, who else supported? Anybody else? Yeah. See what y'all gotta say. This is why this stuff is important. And I'm not saying y'all should be sharing my shit on y'all social media, but this is why folks got to know how to work that phone, get intel, like really perpetuate it. And sometimes doing the fluff shit, the sugar shit, the gossip shit is to generate revenue to fund some of these other things. For real. And this is where everybody has a please, because truth be told, other people are playing for fucking keeps. They're playing for keeps. Whether it's political party affiliated, whether it's racial affiliated, ethnic group affiliated, they're playing for keeps. And people are willing to lie. You see how many of these racist people in these positions get caught, Hispanic, white, otherwise, even black? It's crazy what's going on. And it's just so many people, like, it's too much going on for people to be this stupid. And now what it is with the propaganda is everything has been shifted so much that you don't know what's true or what's not true. Because the media, they're just flat out lying now. Because really, what is anybody going to really do about it? The truth is, if you stop watching them, then oil and big companies is going to buy the ads. Why do you think they show Shell and Amoco and during the day when you're watching CNN or Fox? Why do you think they do that? It's because they're just buying up ad space. You think they need to advertise you to get some fucking gas? Shout out to Michael Ross for the $2. All dollars matter. ADM. And so I meant what the fuck I said when I said it. Because eventually, it ain't even about being black pill. Decision's gonna be made. You either make it or it's gonna be made for you. Because I promise you, when they start drafting motherfuckers, because these rich bastards have started World War III because they can't accept the fact that they fucked up. You know, they fucked up trying to be 110% on top. And they start trying to send your brothers and your motherfuckers to die just so these people can have their semblance of power, these corporations. Y'all not gonna fucking, that's a sacrifice in and of itself. The censorship is about to be real. You about to see a lot of heavy-handed stuff. You really are. It's coming. It's coming. It really is. And so it's like, man, brace yourself. I mean, it's crazy, man. It's crazy. This is Grand Theft Auto, motherfucker. This is Grand fucking Theft Auto. This is Grand Theft Auto 6, nigga. Real life. I mean, yeah, it's interesting. Like, seeing how they do social media, because a lot of them streamers, they do, like, a lot of that is like their reality. Their streaming stuff is their reality TV. It's real interesting seeing some of them. The climate is fine. I mean, it's a whole bunch of, I mean, it's fine. You gotta remember, I'm around the universities a lot. I mean, it's fine socially. North Carolina, like Raleigh, North Carolina is pretty solid. I mean, they not shipping a whole bunch of them fuckers in Raleigh or Charlotte. They don't play that. We got a Republican-controlled Congress. And the Democrats, low-key, ain't playing that either. They not playing that. We had an independent mayor in Raleigh. And now that weed is legalized, we don't need no fucking federal money. Not like that. I mean, they'll have it in certain things, but not like that. Remember, everybody's moving here, and that's outside of immigration. No, I mean, I haven't been in Charlotte in a while, but my brothers go to Charlotte. My brothers go back and forth to Charlotte all the time. No, we're not to that level, because first of all, what are you gonna say? We have, like, our immigration, the immigration that's coming in here is really coming in here by way of the universities. So you're getting Indians do engineering, you're getting immigrants coming down. They're not even immigrants, you're just getting Indians that are coming here through the tech sector. So it's not like we're not getting nobody, but we're not getting that kind of crash. And then on the lower end, you got the construction stuff. You should move from Atlanta to Charlotte. Even though they call it the Queen City, it is not a guy. Not it's number one. Charlotte is cheaper. So here's the thing. I would say come to Raleigh, but But the thing is, with Charlotte is cheaper. Charlotte has got the basketball team, the basketball team, the football team. So you're not really sacrificing that. Charlotte's got UNC Charlotte as well. I mean, it's cheaper. It's cheap. The Charlotte is like the banking South sector. You're not sacrificing how many black folks is gonna be around. Cause it's black folks. It's just not a black city. So you good. If you tired of Atlanta and that bullshit. Oh hell no. It's right to work. The banking, yeah, but Charlotte is not a hub for the commercial banking though, so it's all right. And you got to remember, it's a lot of people. Mecklenburg County, and only has 10,000 more people than Wake County, which is in Raleigh. And Wake County that's just Wake County versus Wake County, Durham, and Chapel Hill. So, I mean, stuff is getting expensive because people are moving here. And weed is starting to be legal. Remember, Trump is, it seems like he's moving more towards being for legalization of marijuana too. That's another one, but everybody's doing that. So yeah, you have to get it how you live. That's all I got to say. Anyway, no, that shit got me like hot. So anyway, what y'all got to say before I head out on this shit? And like I said, I'm almost done with those uploads. So I got a couple. I got like one on Shannon Sharp coming out. Hurry up, man. Appreciate the super chats. Absolutely. Make sure y'all hit that Cash App before we head out. Much appreciated. They can use it to go to North Carolina. But understand the government money, when you say what makes me think, like, number one, the money they're not being given money to be set up here like that. There's not no sanctuary cities like that here. So, and you better believe that a lot of folks are gonna be like, hell no to that shit if they try to activate more. So, of course they could come here after the fact, but why would they? Because the money they're being given is predicated on the zones that they're at. So why would they leave and go to other places like that? That's not how that works. Because if they leave where they're at, and remember, if you're getting EBT money is only for food. So who knows what other kind of money they're getting, dormitory, all that other stuff. But that shit is not sustainable. Because eventually when people pick up on that, they're going to have to deal with that. Yeah, so I mean, I get what you're saying, but people, like, they're being paid to be in certain places. So, I didn't say there wasn't any Hispanics up in here. I've been telling y'all they control the tire industry and shit. He said, Johnny Vegas said, may sound biased, but I think millennials are taking shit more serious than anyone, right? Well, yeah, because we're going to ultimately have to be the ones to deal with it. The Z's aren't going to deal with it. I mean, well, to be fair, it's going to be we're going to be the next up. The X's are a small generation. And the X's are on some straight up, like, you know, Hunger Games type stuff. So understand, they not going to fight to, for people's comfort. They just weren't raised that way. Because, well, part of that is because they're not allowed to. It's kind of like with Turkey. Well, they're not allowed to. Like, remember, South Africa had to give up their nukes. And they could say they did it on purpose, but, you know, they were incentivized heavily to do so. Nigeria, they got the numbers, but Nigeria is like multiple tribes put together. And there's, like, if you really understand Nigeria's history, like, you really understand, so, yeah, you're right, it is fucked up. But see, that's another thing that makes that dangerous, because Russia is definitely going to want to turn stuff over. So they may start giving Africans, because, you know, there's been rumors that Africans are fighting in Russia's military as like a foreign legion. This very small numbers, but yeah, like a lot of Africans are like, fuck the United States, like, for real. And they trying to do something like, yeah, Africa should be 2 permanent men. Like, it's like, y'all gonna have to do something y'all don't want to do. Like, the thing is, y'all doing all this piecemeal shit, y'all gonna have to do something y'all don't want to do. This is where you all not doing reparations gonna bite you in the ass. Y'all promoted abortion because y'all didn't want black people to populate, and now we want to bring people in because we don't have the fucking numbers. That shit is like absolutely fucking insane to me. Of course they're not going to tell the truth that that's what it is, because you sound dumb. Could you imagine them saying, well, we're bringing in the immigrants because women aren't having enough babies? Women would crash the fuck out. And real talk, if you bring in more, see, they notice how they don't want to bring in more women. Because if you bring in more women, then the women are going to crash out. Drive through NC State real quick. I mean, it ain't even about white supremacy, because they bothering white folks right now. So when people be like, yo, they're easier to, I mean, I get it, but yeah, and you're right, they are, because you can just send them the fuck back. And so you got these like shadow populations now, like these dual populations, it's like sub-citizenship now. Because that's really what it is. It's really second-class citizenship. They always blocking this shit. Fuck. That's really what it is. It's second-class citizenship. And that's how they go for, oh, it's second-class citizenship. You gotta give us rights. Remember black people and civil rights? Oh. That's what they're gonna do. And they're gonna use that as a way of giving them all of a sudden citizenship, and then they're gonna do it again. They're in some decades. They're gonna start bringing some more people up in this bitch. Shout out to James with the $2 cash app. Like I said, all dollars matter. Appreciate y'all for checking out my videos as well. Make sure on them uploads you like, comment, you give your opinion, let your opinion be heard. You know, interact with those comments. You know, like the videos on my uploads, because those really help, especially on my uploads. Y'all want to propel the channel. And if it's something you think is shareable, then you definitely share it. But I understand. And I've been working on some of the lower thirds and different stuff. So Stuff is gonna look good. I mean, that's what they doing. Because remember, the last time they gave motherfuckers amnesty, that was in the 80s. That was Reagan that did that. Remember that. That was Reagan that did. I mean, it's sad because a lot of this stuff, if black people were more united, and we had a social contract, you wouldn't do this. But black women are on something. I'm going to throw my pussy at who I want. Then I'm a bitch at who I want to deal. It's retarded. It's ridiculous. And I mean, when people start realizing how, and it's already bad. When they start realizing, man, it's going to be bad. That's why I'm like, yo, I don't even like having all my currency in dollars. That's literally how like crazy stuff is right now. But anyway, we had a clean hour. Be looking out for my uploads. Be looking out for my shorts. Make sure y'all check out Compassionate Callouts as well. You know, he definitely supports the channel. You know, he's been getting views. He's been definitely instrumental in like helping Roger. I've seen like Roger's shorts and stuff. He's done a great job helping other content creators. So make sure you help his channel as well. Because yeah, man. They do. Or the white man, take your pick. They do. They really, that's how much they hate themselves. And I look, man, I'm short. It's crazy because I'm short. I'm 5'5". I don't hate myself. It's like, y'all, man, y'all are crazy. Johnny Vegas, like you said, Ed, it's going to take shit getting really bad. It is. And then the funny thing is, they're going to do the same thing they did with Kevin Samuels. They gonna come to somebody and think they got this wish list of stuff. You know, I want it's gonna be so funny, and that's what I'm saying. Why stuff is straight. You really need to have a side hustle now. You really need to be in a path to where you're actually selling something where all you can benefit from it. Ain't nothing guaranteed, man. Understand that. So automation can work for you and not against you, because the walls are gonna be closing, yo. They really are. And a lot of these people just laced with those degrees, all that debt from them degrees and all of that. So now you got this debt, these degrees. Heck, they ain't even solving that problem, but they spending money. You know, these people, like, y'all gonna crash out and be like, I don't know who you crashing out at. Can't even afford weed because y'all too broke. You know, women will be crashing out with drugs, alcohol, sex. This is gonna leave the babies, these burdens, all this. Dude, they done been made a decision to let stuff degrade. Well, I mean, most men are under the 6 feet club. Like three quarters of the men. So I mean, people be like, "Oh, I'm under 6 feet club," like, you know. And again, that shit is cute until you in poverty. Now is economic. Like, we come into a situation where economics is gonna be king. If you got economics and security, trust and believe that shit ain't gonna mean shit. It may mean something with black women. It ain't gonna mean nothing with these other motherfuckers. Trust me, these other groups ain't gonna be on that. Trust me. He said the white cracker factor. Man, Black Huru said the white cracker factor. I get what Black Huru was saying though. Like, Black Huru, you know, he ended up leaving because, you know, he was talking about racism. But the thing is, and I understand the spirit of what he was saying, but I don't agree that racism is the primary reason they got an issue with Caitlin Clark, but it is a factor. And sometimes people's shit gets lost in translation. Yeah, they ain't gonna be, they not gonna be able, like, them weave bundles and all, Man, all that shit. And that's crazy too. Think about black men. Think about it. What is it that when it comes to maintenance, black men, even getting a haircut, man, even if you paying your barber for $100 for a haircut, which, like, dude, like, black men is nothing that's costing black men that much for maintenance. I mean, they really be like, for what? And it's crazy because you got to think about it. How much, like, if these women actually, their mothers actually grew their hair out correctly and stopped putting all that shit in their head and them chemicals in their head, destroying their hair at an early age, do you understand how much that shit actually costs these women? How much does hating your hair, how much do you think that costs women in a lifetime? In a 10-year, 20-year period? Like, if you really think of the economic cost of that, and then add that to all women and the cost of that with the community. But these fuckers won't stop. Like, really think about that. Really think about what we know. I'm curious, how much does it cost? How much does it cost for a chick? Because, you know, women can maintain their own nails. Niggas are not, niggas, like, how much does it take for them claws? How much does it take for them fucking lashes? How much does it take? How much does it cost for that weed? Because it's not just the bundles. It's what it takes to either put it on. Sewing is the most expensive. Then you got gluing it on, which is why these bitches love wigs. How much, like, somebody, where's the Nigganomics book? From the makers of Freakonomics, my friend Trey, Nigganomics. How much it really costs to be black. Look at this shit. How much it really costs to be a bad bitch. Like, just thinking about it sounds expensive. Think about it. And we're not even talking about, like, teeth, like shit like that. How much does it cost for lashes, weaver wigs, so hair, lashes, makeup? We're not even gonna add the cell phone, makeup. And you don't believe me? Selena Gomez just is a billionaire. Selena Gomez has been depressed for how fucking long after Justin Bieber? You ain't heard Selena Gomez is like killing it like that. And shout out to her. She got makeup, that internet makeup. Here we go, right up there with so we already know she the Latin market. Like, for real. And we're not even talking about how much it costs to maintain their real hair. I mean, there's a reason why in every hood you got a beauty. If you ain't got, you got a church, a liquor store, and a fucking beauty supply shop. That's how you know you're entering the hood. If you see a big ass beauty supply shop, you know, turn around or lock your door. You know, if you see a big one, as soon as you've crossed the Rubicon, you have crossed the event fucking horizon. Some of them are. You see what I'm saying? We're not even counting feet, because niggas, there's some of you niggas in feet. And so we ain't even counting feet. Nails, feet, with all of that costs. All of that cost. Men don't have those costs. We're not even counting the things we both have, like cell phones. And then, you know, the bitch gotta have an iPhone. They just have to have an iPhone. They just have to have an iPhone. And they gotta have a newer iPhone too. Now here comes the 16. So all those costs. And what do you think that pussy is worth? What do you think that pussy is worth on the open market with all these immigrants coming in this bitch? And they starting to bring bitches in here too. You think these bitches ain't gonna get fucked? And if you got the 15, honestly, really, it ain't even no point upgrading really past the 13 if you gonna be keep 13 or 12 to keep it all the way real, unless you really give a fuck about a camera. And if you're not really using that camera to make money, it ain't no point. I mean, I'm an Android person. The next time I get me an iPhone, it's probably gonna be an SE. I ain't even gonna front, because that's like a rewrap 8. Shout out to Apple for lowering the price on the iPad though. That's a real one. In this inflation, shit. Y'all better cop an iPad. 350 for 64 gigabytes? Shit. I'm over here. I might as well get gas. Shit. That's the realest thing Apple has ever done. That is the realest thing they've ever done. For the 10th generation, he said, I'm wondering when the USA will start mass immigrating. I'm surprised they haven't already. I mean, word on the street is that Ukrainian women are being prostituted in Europe. Ain't that big of a deal. Word on the street. I mean, is that true? Yeah, that's crazy. PS5 Pro, it's $800. I'm sorry. The only way I'm getting a PS5 Pro for that much is if if GTA is on the horizon. GTA ain't on the horizon. I'll wait. I'll stick with my Xbox Series S. He said you sent the video in Discord. Okay. Tag me in it, Ray. Okay, material gain. That phone 11 is solid. Yeah, make sure y'all check out the crowdfunding. I'm doing all right. Yeah, I want to get $10 on pump number one. Yeah, make sure y'all check out Compassionate Callouts crowdfunding and see what that's about. Absolutely. It's definitely proven itself in this space. Definitely check that out. Throw $1 or two at it. Whatever you can. Yeah, man, that light is a bitch. Because that's the closest thing they got. That's like the closest thing of a rank item. That's all that is. They see a phone as a flex item. That's where that starts and that's where that ends. Like again, these chicks are like out here like the Night of the Living Dead, and you just gotta let them be out here like that. I mean, yeah, man, but like 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 honestly, it don't matter. Like as far as advertising dollars with a billboard, that's a good flex, but ultimately, man, what you want to do is internet advertising is king, is in organic, and our stuff we got to work with organic. That's personally what I think, but hey, to each his own. But yeah. All right, y'all, I'm gonna be out. I appreciate all y'all support and everything. I may jump on ABs later today. We'll just have to see. And with that being said, this is Edward signing off. Peace. Like I said, make sure y'all catch up them uploads too when they